Money on my phone, that mean I talk to the money. Money on my chain, that mean the money hang with me.
Already.
Money on my hat, that mean money on my mind. Money on my gray bandana, that mean the money on my mind. Money on my Kool-Aid, that mean my money sweet.
Oh yeah, G. What is on your shade for?
Shades, that mean I see the money.
What money change the meal, G?
Shit, 65, you heard me?
What your money on your shoes for?
That mean I walk to the money.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Money on my watch, I mean time is money. Money on my phone.
I get down from a crime and I hit up the 99. Gotta keep that back row, making me say a point. These nickels a dime. Hit us for lick up that 211. Gotta get what's mine been failing. Me kicking up dust, I'm a trailing, failing 187. That's how it is, and I got to have it in the knock. What? Mission to check a meal and still be real. Thugging on the clock, like creeping on the come up. Won't sleep till I'm done up. Gotta blaze my gun up. Hunt up another plotting scheme. Gotta make some great soldiers nut up. What up? Gotta get that business on, even though the Buddha run this done me feeling lovely. But I'm just in it for the love of the month.
Alright, all praises to the Most High Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rakakadash. Double honors and salutations to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom to you, Akim and Aqua. Brothers and sisters that be listening to the videos, this is your brother Kalakar coming back at you with another video. And this video is going to be titled For the Love of Money. For the love of money, you know, because Jake loved money. Jake loved chasing that dollar. You know, as you saw in the videos before we started, you know, that's what Jake's into, you know. So we're gonna go to some scriptures and you know, and highlight why you should not be chasing that money and what you really should be chasing, you know, after this truth, you know, because it's better than that dollar, which is about to crash, and we're going to digital currency anyway. So all you Jakes hastening to be rich, and especially in this kingdom, man, you trying to be like the so-called white man, you see why you can't get there. But let's start with the scripture, Proverbs. Proverbs 8. I'm going to start at the 8th verse. All the words of my mouth are in righteousness. There is nothing forward or perverse in them. Verse 9. They are all plain to him that understandeth, and right to them that find knowledge. Verse 10. Here's the point. Receive my instruction, and not silver, and knowledge rather than choice gold. Verse 11. For wisdom is better than rubies, and all things that may be desired are not to be compared to it. Verse 12. I, wisdom, dwelleth with prudence, and find out knowledge of witty inventions. So if we was to go back to verse 10, receive my instructions and not silver, knowledge and rather than choice gold. Verse 11, for wisdom is better than rubies, and all the things that may be desired are not to be compared to her. So if we had to go search, which I already got it pulled up for you, you know, rubies. Like any other gemstone, the cost of a ruby can vary depending on the quality of the carat weight. Note that the carat weight is the unit of measurement that most gemstones are weighed by. 1 carat equals 0.2 grams. Rubies can run as little as $1 a carat to 100,000 a carat, depending on the 4 C's. One of the most expensive rubies ever sold in the Sunrise Ruby, selling for over $1 million a carat at 25 carats. So the price of rubies are, you know, in the world are way high up there, right? But the Lord is telling you that this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is better than those rubies. Look at that, 30,000 for a ruby, 9,000, 2,000. You know, like any other gemstone, the cost of a ruby can vary depending on the quality of its carat and weight, like we just read. Note that the carat weight is the unit of measurements. Yeah, we just read that. But you get the point. Real rubies costs money, so if we go back to 11, for wisdom is better than rubies. So this wisdom is better than rubies, all of them, and all things that may be desired are not compared to her. So you can't compare these, money. You can't compare jewels and stones and precious metals to wisdom. You're better off having wisdom than having these rubies and things. Same thing with the gold. It say, verse 10, receive my instruction and not silver, and knowledge rather than choice gold. So if we gold is $1,970.70 an ounce today. That's the price of gold. What is gold price now? $1,957.90. 1 ounce of gold. So if you had 100 ounces of gold, you got a little piece of change in your pocket, but the Lord is saying, receive my instruction and not silver, and knowledge rather than choice gold, because this can't be compared. It just can't be. So let's go to Proverbs 3. Salakia. Proverbs 3, it goes into pretty much the same thing. Proverbs 3:13, happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding. For the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, and the gain of fine gold. Verse 15, she is more precious than rubies, and all the things that canst desire are not to be compared to her. So you can't compare this to like I said, you can't compare this. What's today? Niggas want an icy out chain. Niggas want this chains and all of this money. You will in your right mind, you will want to trade all of that for this wisdom. Ain't nothing wrong with having a chain, a little gold chain. That's cool, but is it worth it? Is it better than this truth? You gotta decide, Jake. Come out of the world. Let's go to Luke 18. Let's get all of this. Luke 18:22. Now when Yahushua heard these things, he said unto him, yet lackest thou one thing. Sell all that thou hast, and distribute unto the poor, and thou shalt have treasures in heaven, and come follow me. So, giving alms and giving praise to the prophets and the teachers and the elders, and paying tithes and things of that nature. You're doing things that's in this truth. You're setting up treasures in heaven. So that's what it means to sell all your stuff. That don't mean literally sell your stuff and be poor, but it means give up all of those riches. Come off of that. Come out of that mind state of having all of these riches and give it and distribute it to the poor. Who's the poor? The poor is these Israelites out here that don't know who they are. Thou shalt have treasures in heaven. The more you do for this truth, the more you setting up treasures in heaven. Verse 23, and when he heard this, he was very sorrowful. He repented, for he was very rich. He was sad. He was like, man, I got to give up all of this. And when Yahushua saw that he was very sorrowful, verse 24, he said, how hardly shall they that have riches enter into the kingdom of the Most High. Here's the point right here. For it is easier for a camel to go through a needle's eye than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of the Most High. So once again, Jake, you're longing and hasting for being rich in this kingdom, and it's not even your kingdom. You're not going to get in the kingdom of heaven. You're going to be least in the kingdom of heaven. Let's get a precept real quick. First Corinthians to, go to all the time. 1 Corinthians 6:9, know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High? Be not deceived, neither fornicators, illicit sexual practices, nor idolaters. You idolizing Buddha, Christianity, the Christian church, the black Christian church, Mormons, Baptists, anything you idolize, weed, clothes, money, cars, nor adulterers. You having sex with married women, that's a big no-no. And married women having sex with different types of dudes, that's a big no-no too. Nor effeminate, hey, how you doing, hand on my hip, as men, nor abusers of themselves with mankind, nor thieves, nor covetous, nor the thief is. Covetous is you coveting after that money. Money, bitches, hoes. All the nigga knows is money causing hoes. Nor drunkards. You can't be a drunk out here. Nothing say you can't drink. But if you out in the streets, or you like your uncle that be always drunk, sitting on the porch with the brown paper bag, be drunk all the time. You ain't gonna get in the kingdom. Nor revilers. Club hopping, bar hopping. You always want to spend your time in the bar when you got some free time. Nor extortioners. You got a secret on somebody and you out there, extorting them for money because you know something deep about them. That's a big no-no. Shall inherit the kingdom of the Most High. There you have it. Let's get Deuteronomy. Some history. Starting at the 15th verse. Let's take it down. But Jeshurun waxed fat and kicked. Deuteronomy 32:15. But Jeshurun waxed fat and kicked. Thou art waxen fat. Thou art grown thick. Thou art covered with fatness. Then he forsook the Most High, which made him, and lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation. He made the Lord mad because this was a rich man, had a lot of abundance, had everything, and he forsook the Most High. That's what you fall into, Jake, when you think you have it all and you got all this money. It's like, I'm doing good, I got me a job, I got plenty of money in my pocket, I can go travel, I can go do all of this and stuff like that. You're not thinking about the Most High. That's why I said in Luke, a rich man can't enter into the kingdom. And Jake, we in captivity, so you liking it to be rich if you got a little bit of money and not thinking about the Most High. I got a nice house, I got a nice truck and all of that, and got a good job and blah, blah, I wouldn't say good job, but I'm pretty well off, where I'll be like, man, I don't need to think about the Most High. I'm good. I'm set up, I'm good. But no, I'm yearning for the Most High each and every day. Every day I wake up, every day I go to sleep, I'm yearning for the Most High, even though I got abundance here. They provoked him, verse 16, they provoked him to jealousy with strange gods. With abomination provoked him to anger. Verse 17, they sacrificed unto devils, not unto the Most High, to gods whom they knew not, to new gods that came newly up from your fathers feared not. Of the rock that begat thee are unmindful and has forgotten the Most High that formed thee. So you forgetting the Most High because you got money. And when the Lord Yahweh Shem HaShah saw it, he had abhorred them because Salakia. Abhorred them because of the provoking of his sons and his daughters, And he said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end shall be, for they are a very forward generation, children whom is no faith. That's right, no faith. You don't got no faith in the Most High because you got riches. You know, the Lord is the one who's giving out the riches, but He's saying what you're gonna do. So it's kind of a temptation to be having a lot of money because you have a lot of more access to things in this kingdom, in Esau's kingdom. You know, let's go back to Proverbs. Proverbs 30:8. Let's get it. Yeah, Proverbs 30:8. Let's get Proverbs 7:2. 2 things I have required of thee. Deny me them not before I die. Verse 8. Remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty or riches. Feed me with food convenient for me. So remove from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty or riches. You know, meet me in the middle, Lord. You know, don't have me out here hungry begging, and don't give me a damn $1 million salary or something like that. I don't need that. Feed me with food convenient for me, and that convenient food goes twofold. It goes into this truth. You know, this truth is food. You know, remember when they say food for thought, and then also feed me with food convenient for me. That means, you know, give me a house, or give me, you know, a house to lay my head, a bed to lay in, some food to eat, you know, some clothes on my back, you know, just the basics. That's all I need. I don't need a lot of abundance, you know. Verse 9, lest I be full and deny thee, and say, who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and steal, and take the name of the Lord in vain, or the name of my power in vain. You know, so you want to be in the middle. You don't want to be rich. You don't want to be poor. You know, you want to be in the middle. You know, feed me food for convenience. And let's go to the infamous Timothy. We're going to start at the 5th verse. 1 Timothy 6:5. Preserve disputings of man, perverse disputings of men of corrupt minds, and destitute of the truth, supposing that gain is godliness. Supposing that gain is godliness. Supposing that gain is godliness. From such withdraw themselves. So, Jake, you think because the Lord is blessing you with riches and blessing you with all that's godliness? You know, it's not. It's actually a trap. You know, it's a curse, if you ask me. You know, because the Lord gonna, you know, see how you're gonna handle that. You know, just because you living comfortably here in Babylon the Great, you know, you're gonna forget the Lord. You know, it's people out there, you know, it's people out there that's really, you know, in the gutter, and they saying like, where's the Lord? Where what He's done for us? I think that's in Malachi 3. You know, where's the Lord? What he said He's gonna do for us? Like, why am I in this condition? You know, but going back to the point is, supposing that gain is godliness, from such withdraw themselves. But godliness with contentment is great gain. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. Because Jake, you came in the world butt ass naked, crying, screaming out your mama's womb. You didn't have a debit card. You didn't have a truck or car. Didn't have a job. You had nothing. Verse 8, and having food and a raiment, let us be therefore content. Like it was saying in Proverbs, you know, food and a raiment, convenient food, let us be there content. Food, obviously, to eat, and a raiment to put on your clothes, put on your back, you know. Verse 9, but they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, that's a trap, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. You know, destruction and destruction. You know, you hasten to be rich, you're trying to get this dollar, you're trying to do all of this stuff, and look what happened to you, Jake. You've you know, especially the drug dealers. You know, you're selling weed, crack, heroin, cocaine. You know, you falling in the trap, because that's why they call it a trap. Just like it's said here, a snare, that's a trap. You're in the trap, selling all of this, you're in a trap, bro. You got to get out that trap, because it ain't worth it. You're going to fall into many foolishness and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. Here goes the point right here. Verse 10, for the love of money, for the love of money, for the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some covered it after, they have erred from the faith and perished themselves through many sorrows. Verse 11, but thou, O man of God, flee these things and follow after righteousness, godliness, faith, love, patience, and meekness. That's how you're going to enter into the kingdom. You know, you chasing after this dollar, you love this dollar, you know, only bad things are going to happen to you. If we go to Ecclesiastes, nobody say you couldn't have no money. Here's the point. Ecclesiastes 7:12, for wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense. But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it. So money is defense. You defend yourself with money by having clothes, shoes, you know, food. You keeping your lights on in the house. You're keeping a roof over your head. You're defending yourself because of the money. It's a defense. It's not here for you to get rich off, Jake. We're not in that time. You know, this is not our kingdom. We're at the bottom of it, and you want to live like the so-called white man in a mansion or a room, multiple rooms, all the space in the world that you don't need. You know, that's the so-called white man comfortability. You know, you can't be like him. He's going down anytime soon. Couple more scriptures and then we'll get out. Let's get this one. You know you're gonna hate this one. Jake. Ecclesiasticus, I think it's 14. I'm gonna start at the first verse. Ecclesiasticus 14:1. Blessed is the man that hath not slipped with his mouth, and is not pricked with the multitude of sins. Blessed is he whose conscience has not condemned him, and who is not fallen from the hope in the Lord. You know, that's why you got to keep in this truth. You know, even though you probably sinned and you feeling bad, don't let your sins weigh you down. You got to keep your faith and trust in the Lord. You know, here's the point. Riches are not commonly for a niggard. What? Y'all telling me the Bible had niggard in it? Which that means stingy, but we know what the word goes to. Riches are not commonly, so riches are not good looking for a niggard, a niggard, a stingy person. For what should an envious man do with money? So Jake's a stingy. They don't like giving out shit. You know, they like coveting out the shit and holding on to it. It's not good looking for you because you're stingy, Jake. You know, a niggard means stingy. You know, so with that said, you know, that's all I wanted to touch on with for the love of money. You know, hopefully you got something out of this. And on to the next. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom to the Akim and Aqua that be listening to the videos. Double honors and salutations to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua. Call Halalayim Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Rakakadash. Alright, on to the next video. Shalom.